it's Desiree and welcome. If you've been here for a while, thank you so much. I am truly grateful for you being here and always spending this time with me. And if you are new, a huge welcome, and I hope you continue to enjoy the videos that you see here. So we're going to continue into our third series, and our third series is basically all about simplicity. And for those of you that have been here for a while know that simplicity for me is all about the pattern paper, and it does the work for us. It's an awesome thing. It's also something that we tend to hoard. So hopefully through this series, these 5 days, I'm going to break you out of that, get into that paper stash that we have, break into it, because you know the best thing is there's always more paper coming out and being designed, so we can restock if we have to. But this is what these series are all about this year of 2023 for my Christmas series, is to dig into your stash. Have fun with it. Let's turn it into something else. Let's not just make the norm, and I say that in quotes. Let's see what else we can do with it to get the most out of it. So like I said before, this is our third video in the third series, all about simplicity. And this is the paper pad that I'm going to be using. It's a 6x6 paper pad, and it's called Letters to Santa. It's 24 sheets, double-sided papers. It's got a great color palette. It has cut aparts, and the designs are, I like to say, basic. You know, there's nothing too fancy. The florals are nice and bold. The characters that are in it are absolutely adorable. And it does follow a traditional color theme. But we always don't have to just grab a paper pad and start cutting. To me, that is the best therapeutic way. But if sometimes you get stuck, or maybe you get into that rut where you're like, you know what, I'd like to be inspired, I'd like to know different things that I can do with my papers, I have found the solution for you. It's always been out there. It's always been around. It's not something, I'll be honest, that I gravitate to, because I don't like to be, for me, I don't, like to do the cookie cutter thing. I don't like measuring. I don't like... all that stuff. Kind of like to just wing it. But the beautiful thing that's out there are things that are called sketches, card sketches. And these are items that you can get that can tell you how you can create a card front, what the layout would look like, what your measurements are, and you can get a lot of cards done in a quick time. They're great for gift sets. We're coming up. We are so close going on into the holidays, and if you need that last minute gift, this is perfect, especially for that person who still believes in snail mail. I love snail mail. I have someone that I know. She is a sweetheart of a woman. I've gotten to know her more. And she's just fun to craft with, and I'm going to have all of her information linked down below. And I'm sure most of you already know her. It is Alicia, the Crafty Owl, is how we refer to her. And what she has put together and what she does every month for her followers on her YouTube channel is she has developed the sheet load of cards. So again, you may also know her as Call Me a Crafty Owl, and she does this every month. And I cannot stress enough that when it comes to the sheet load, they are free to all her subscribers. Okay. You can also become a member to her channel as well. I am a member and I think it is great. She is just so inspiring when it comes to card making and paper crafts. And with through the membership, you get extra perks. So just know that your sheet load is free to all of her subscribers and all of the subscribers. I will have links down to her channel. I will also have a link if you want to check out her membership. It is so affordable, so that you can, take a look and see what's going on there. So I've just pulled a couple. So this one here is from November 23rd or 2023. So this is last month, and this is the one that we're going to be using. What's great with this, she'll call out the supplies that you need. She gives you the sketch. She gives you the measurements. She gives you tips and tricks on the sheets that you get. So in this case, all you need to make 8 cards, that's 8 cards. You need 4 6x6 pattern papers, 2 8.5 by 11 solid pieces of cardstock, 1 piece of vellum, and then 4 pieces of solid cardstock to make your 8 card bases. With those supplies, it's going to yield you 8 cards. She gives you all the dimensions. She gives you the codes, and then the codes match up to where that's going to fall on your card. So she guides you there. Any special instructions she will provide here. She gives you alternatives for this. And then she gives you the cutting guide. So here's the cutting guide. So for your 6x6, this is how you'll cut your papers. For your 8.5 by 11, here's how you cut your papers. For the vellum, that's how those pieces work out as well. And she takes you step by step through these 2 sheets of paper. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, she doesn't stop there though. There are times when it comes to her sheet load of cards that she'll focus on 12 by 12 pattern paper. We love the different sizes. There are 6x6s, 6x8s, 8x8s, 12x12s, and she touches each of them and creates the cards based off of that and what you would need. What's even better is you get so many cards when it comes to just one of her designs that you can still hoard some of that pattern paper and still enjoy it. So that is what's great. All right. So sketches are a wonderful thing to help give you that little bit of boost to help create that gift. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, what I'm going to do off camera real quick is I'm going to choose my papers. I'm going to do some of my cuts, have the bulk of it already. And when I come back, we'll do the last bit of cutting to show the different areas. And then we'll go back and put our cards together. So it's going to be a lot of kind of like a live, but not live. You know what I mean? I just turned it on and I'm going to start filming, but I want to have the bulk done off camera so that you're not, watching me for an hour in a day. Okay. Oh, yes. All right. So grab your supplies, have fun. In the meantime, check out, pause here, check out down below, grab your sheet load, and make sure you become a member of her channel. All right, so we'll be right back. Okay, I have my vellum circles cut. These are 3-inch circles. I have 8 of them. I have my card bases. These are going to be a standard A2 size card base, and they're cut to 8.5 by 5.5, and they're scored along the 8.5 at 4 1/4. So there'll be a top folding landscape. I've chosen these 2 pattern papers, and then I've chosen 2 different colors of solid cardstock. The sentiment that I'll be using when it comes time to put that on is this Cozy Wishes. Okay, So what we're going to do this together. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got my sheet load off to the side, and I'll pull it in every once in a while. So what we want to do first is I'm going to cut my 8.5 by 11. So we cut it 5 inches by 3 3/4. And then basically we're going to be cutting that into 4s. Now, I'm just going to cut mine into 4s and just have smaller scraps, or you could go 5 inches and then make your cuts and you would have an inch strip. Okay, that's totally your choice on how you want to cut it, but I'm going to do this. Now, I'm going to apologize now. I'm sure my screen is going to shake and all of that, so I will apologize now. All right. So now I'm going to go 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 and then 5 and 5. So I'll have these scraps from each 5.5 piece that I cut, and I will keep those. They're good strips for sentiments. So same thing, 3 3/4, 3 3/4, 5. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay, so now I have those cut. I'm going to set these aside. So now we need to cut our pattern papers. And within the instructions, she says for all the 4 sheets that you have, cut each sheet into 8 pieces as shown to the left. And piece A will be cut in half on a diagonal for card. Okay, so what we're going to do is first I'm going to make these 6 inches because I have that whole thing going on the top there, and I want to make sure I'm at a 6-inch mark. Okay, here we go. So the first cut is going to be at 4 3/4. Nope. My first cut is going to be 6 1/2 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pretty much you're taking it down to 3 inches. Then I'm going to turn this, and now I'm going to cut it at 4 3/4. This is my scrap, and then I'm going to cut this at 1.5. So that's what I'm going to do now for each sheet, and then we're going to come back and focus on these. Okay, so now I'm just focusing on this piece because we're going to cut it on an angle, okay? But it's not going to go corner to corner, okay? It's going to have this little tiny archy thing, E. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in here. And I'm going to eyeball. Oh, yeah. Now, what you could do is, you know, put a mark. So let's do that. Let's do that instead. I'm following a sketch. Let's not free will it. So I'm going to come in 1/4 of an inch here and on this side. So on the opposite sides, you want to have your 1/4 inch mark. And I'm going to line up those marks on my cutter. And I'm going to cut. So we're going to have 2 pieces that look like this. And I'm going to do that with the rest of my papers. So I'm going to make my marks first. Because to me, that would just make sense. It's like a production style. Now you could do probably another mark, and just because you are following a sketch does not mean you have to follow it exactly. You can, maybe you don't want to use 1/4 of an inch mark like I am. Maybe you want to use a 1/2 inch mark. You can do whatever you want. Sketches, I like to think, can inspire a look, can inspire a design. And again, just because you're using a sketch does not mean that you can't alter it, change it, and make it your own. All right, so now we're going to do these cuts. Again, lining up the marks along my blade. And then cutting down. All right, now we have our cuts done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our panels, and I think for this one, we're going to place our pieces. So you want to make sure with the ones that you cut, you're putting one angle to the top and one to the bottom. So let's get those glued in place before they go all over. And you're leaving a slight border around the edge. And when you're kind of just, like eyeballing, what that edge will be, just, make sure you have an even spot here, and the corners are coming in at a 90 degree. That's what I kind of look for, basically. Now, we're going to bring in our strips, and I'm going to do the opposite strips for 2. I'm going to make my piles. There we go. Just try to be organized. Sometimes it works for me. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So on the 2 outers, I'm going to use a darker one. And then in the center, we're going to have this one that we used here. So I'm just going to place that one down. In the center. Again, still going on the diagonal. And now I'm going to place my other 2. So you are going to have some scraps that come off, because we're going to cut these off. And we're going to place that one there. And now we're just going to trim. So I just trim along the card using a long shear. And that is our first one done. So now I'm just going to continue through and get the other ones done. But That's how simple that was. But I'm going to reverse it. So this time I'm going to use the green up on the top and the bottom. And this is good, like I used a plaid here, so it's not directional. So you can grab any piece. Here I have the ornaments, so you want to make sure that your ornaments are going in the right direction. So if you're using a directional pattern paper, you just have to be aware of which way you're cutting. That's why I chose to do all the 6 strips first, then go back and do the 4 3/4, because I almost did the 4 3/4 first, which would have messed up my strip. So always look at your papers and look at your pattern first, just to make sure if your paper's directional. All right, so let's do this one together. We're going to put our next one down. I'm going to start with my center strip. And I'm going to get that placed. And now we'll come in with the next one. And then we'll trim. All right, I'm going to get through the rest of them and I'll show you. I'm just going to speed that up. And you see that I'm going to have 4 with a green back, and then I'm also going to have 4 with a red. I chose 2 different colors of solid cardstock, so 1 sheet of each. So let's get to it. Okay, so here are our 8 panels in really no time. I'm just saying. Okay, I am going to get these now onto our card bases. You get to hear that awesome scratchy sound. We've got a nice border already around. And again, if you're using that directional paper, you want to make sure that you're putting your panels down on the correct way as your card base. Okay, 8 card bases. There we go. Now, here are my vellum, and I'm going to put my sentiments on first, because then I will know where to put the glue. And I'm just going to go right down the center of the sentiment. And I'm even going to line these up, and we're going to do this production style. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, since I have the 4 green and the 4 red, I'm going to reverse it. So on the ones with the red background, I'm going to put my green sentiment, and then on the ones with the green background, I'm going to put the red. Now I am going to pop these up. You guys knew I was going to do that. Okay, we've got 8 cards, and let me tell you what, these did not take long at all. At all. They're cute. They're just absolutely adorable. This would be a great gift for somebody, or great cards. If you donate your cards, great cards for the holiday season. I mean, these are absolutely adorable. So, again, it's another way to get through your pattern paper. Now, think about this. I only used 2 pieces of pattern paper, okay? 2 pieces of pattern paper. This paper pad has 24. So technically, I could get close to, okay, awkward pause for calculation. So if 2 sheets gives me 8, 12 would give me 96. I believe that's my math. Okay? I think I'm right on that. Now, you also do need your solid cardstock. You need your card bases. But think about it. 96 cards. Boom. So this is a great way to at least cut into your paper pads. Let the paper do the work. These are absolutely adorable. Add your sentiments. Use those sentiment dies that you have. You don't have to put the vellum. You can skip that, but I do like the way it kind of helps that sentiment to pop up. And you also don't need to add the double-sided foam squares that I added. I just love dimension. So again, change it, alter it, have fun with it. And again, sketches give us inspiration. There are those that absolutely love sketches, and I think that's great. But sketches guide you, they give you inspiration, they help you make your cards. They build that confidence. And again, I encourage you, I'm going to have the link down to Crafty Al's, Call Me Crafty Al's YouTube channel. Again, for all of her subscribers, the sheet load of cards sheets, these right here, are free. Okay? Members, if you want to become a member, those are different perks that you would get. Okay? So just to be clear, and I'll have the link down to the membership as well, if you're curious about that. So thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Crafty Al, for letting me show your sheet load of cards during my Christmas series for 2023 in my simplicity section of it. I do appreciate that. Guys, dig into the pattern paper. I'm not going to have anything linked below except for Crafty Al. You guys have pattern paper. Have fun using it. Enjoy cutting into that pad. It's okay. We'll never run out of paper. Promise you. We will never run out of paper. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below, and I'll make sure I get back to you as soon as I can. Remember, enjoy the process. When we create our art, enjoy it. Don't compare. Don't look at what somebody else is doing. You enjoy the art that you are creating. Have fun with the process. Try something new. You never know, you might like it. You never know, you realize you don't. Again, get that whole process through. I'd love for you to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, make sure you ring the bell so that you know when the next video is ready for you to watch. And thank you so much for being here, whether you're new or whether you've been here from the beginning. I cannot say thank you enough. I am truly grateful and honored that you are here, and I can't wait to see you all in 2024. But still remember what is and what will always be most important to me. Always, guys, be creative, and I will talk to you in the next one. Video 4.